Hello, everyone. My name is Daniel Culbertson, economist with the Indeed Hiring Lab, and it is time for your November U.S. labor market update. Getting started with government data, the jobs report was released by the Bureau of Labor Statistics just last Friday, and it featured some positive news for the overall economy. In October, the U.S. labor market added 638,000 jobs to payrolls, which marks the sixth consecutive month of payroll gains. This job growth was driven by hiring inside of some of the industries most impacted by COVID-19, including leisure and hospitality and retail, as well as hiring in other industries like construction and professional services. Also included in that jobs report is our unemployment rate. In October, the unemployment rate fell from 7.9% to 6.9%, which again marks the sixth consecutive month of overall improvement and was also a much larger decline than most economists anticipated. Underneath that unemployment rate, there is some good news and some bad news. On the downside, the number of workers considered long-term unemployed, meaning they've been unemployed for 27 weeks or longer, increased by 1.2 million in the month of October, which is indicative of just how dire the labor market situation has become for many workers. On the positive side, the labor force participation rate rose in the month of October, meaning that workers were coming back into the labor force and looking to get back to work. Moving on to some of Indeed's own data, let's take a look at our Indeed job postings tracker, which is the Hiring Lab's near real-time measure of labor market activity. On this graph here, we can see the overall trend in job postings on the Indeed site over the past 3 years. That dark teal line that you see there, representing 2020, shows that we have seen steady but slow improvement in the overall count of job postings on our site over the past couple months, and as of November 6th, we are now about 13% behind last year's trend. So a lot of improvement over the past couple months, but still some ground to be made up. This growth in job postings on our site has been driven largely by employers looking to get back into the labor market and hire in some of the industries that are rebounding well from COVID-19, such as warehousing, driving, and anything related to beauty and wellness roles. Lastly, let's check in on a trend on the job seeker side of the equation. Indeed's job search data often gives us a very unique look at how job seeker preferences are changing over time. One of the aspects of this that we've been watching very closely throughout the whole COVID-19 crisis is job seekers' interest in working remotely. This graph here shows the number of job searches on Indeed related to working from home or working remotely as a share of all job search traffic on our site. On the far right side of this graph, you can see that job seeker interest in working remotely has been on the rise over the past couple months. And this tells us and tells employers that although many aspects of our economy have begun to reopen, and some workers are going back to work, many job seekers are still quite keen on working remotely. And this is obviously a trend that we'll be watching very closely throughout the crisis and beyond. It'll be very interesting to see if job seekers' interest in working remote holds up once we get to that post-COVID-19 world. That's all for now. As always, you can always find our research on hiringlab.org, so I encourage you all to check that out. And thank you for tuning in. And until next time, take care.